Sizzle season trailer came out, and I've already had a number of things spoiled because I made the mistake of existing on Twitter, but we'll see what we've got here that maybe I haven't seen and, get some of the details fleshed out because I still don't know an awful lot. I'll try and minimize pausing early on, and I'll do a first watch through just to get the general stuff, but y'all know if I were actually watching this on my own, I'd just be pausing it constantly, and I'd take like 12 minutes to go through this 2-minute video. So we'll do all of that stuff afterward. Let's see what the trailer has got for us. There we go. New map. In the train station. Nice. Outfits. Lemuria. That's a Hydra kit. Which, like, we kind of knew it was coming. CRB. New kind of stringer. The Wellstring 5. Was that a censorship leap? That's so bizarre. Kind of Splatana. Mid-decapitator. This is like an electric toothbrush. Big run. Oh wow. All of them at once is crazy. Oh, it's a oh man. It's an asymmetrical stage. Or like it's symmetrical but different axis of symmetry. They better change the cover so that it doesn't have the salt spray problem still. I thought there might be something. I don't know what the significance of the jelly standing there in the desert sun is. Is it like a tourist that's just out there? I'm trying to think if this might mean something. Probably not. Alright. Let's see if we get a good shot here. Not a great one there. Mostly background details. New outfits, of course. So this is the split down the middle. These are the spawn regions on opposite sides. It looks like there might still be like a right side peak advantage to one side over the other here. I don't see like these blocks being like particularly shifted in any direction. So Salt Spray Rig had this problem, and Skipper Pavilion also had this problem. When you make a map like this, where one team is definably on the right side instead of like at opposite corners, what happens is any piece of cover on the team on the right works a little better because of right side peek advantage, where you hold your weapon on the right hand side, so you look around that piece of cover and you can be firing while exposing yourself less at someone from the same position. The backside of this being open might mean that you just sit back here, like further back here, whereas here you sit further forward to use the cover, and then you right side peek around either way. It might not be a huge difference, but it's something that you don't like to see. It'd be nice to like shift pieces of cover around so that they can be equally usable, or at least, you know, somewhat more advantageous to the team that's just getting the short end of the stick here. It's generally a pretty minor problem. Like I didn't play Salt Spray very much, but on so Salt Spray might have been worse because E-Leader was so good in that game and it was just so dominant there. But Skipper, it wasn't a really big deal. It affected a few matchups, but it didn't feel like it was like so super significantly more powerful to be on the right side. Like you still had to outplay. Just a little bit of an annoyance there. I'm just looking to see if there are... Does this mean that we're getting like new kits for all of these weapons now? Oh, that's a new bamboo. So yeah, probably... I would think this means like new edits, new Dowser Dualies, new Rebrilla. Is that like a razor blade at the top of it? New Hydra. And it's like we needed to have these new range blaster. Like we only have so many updates left, and those weapons all didn't have second kits yet. So we got Scorch Gorge here. Is this a rework? I don't remember whether this cover is all here. Might be. I mean, it's not really changing much unless there's like a ramp up to this area or like a paintable wall somewhere. So I don't think that like changing the cover around mid is gonna do anything, but I don't... Maybe this is what it looks like in Turf, and I just don't play enough Turf to remember it. Like, why would I play Turf Scorch Gorge? That just sounds like not a great use of my time. But maybe that's different. Okay. So this looks like it fires more arrows. It's got 5 nozzles. Okay, so these just land there. And it looks, so it's a wider spread, and there's enough damage because there are 5 explosions, right? So you're a lot more likely to get hit by any particular one of them. So it's probably like same damage per arrow, but since it's a wider spread, it covers more ground. I wonder what is... It looked pretty long range, so I wonder what the downside is going to be to it. What the balancing factor really is going to be. They really got quickscoped there. Oh, the animation here. So you hold it sideways, and then you flick it out of its sheath. And then it teleports back into the sheath. Looking like a Monster Hunter longsword user. So there's a big bubbler somewhere. Let's just spot. There's something using screen. Looks like that's the Hydra. So from where the Hydra's looking off to the left over here is where the big bubbler gets popped, and it's green. We have any real hints about who that is. Something has super jumps. And then something on green team has splat bombs. So green team in this sample match is the Hydra, the Mint Decavitator, that sounds weirdly similar to Decapitator. And then the other team, I think the Hydra also has the CRB on its team. Purple team has the new bow. And then there's bamboo on green team as well. assuming that this is like the same game and they're not like mixed up at all. Yes, there's new dowsers, so they're yellow. New headed. So between Hydra, Mint Decavitator, Bamboo, and CRB, we've got Screen, Chumps, Big Bubbler. I don't think we've seen a third special. And one of those has Splat Bomb. Any of those would obviously love the Splat Bomb, but it's hard to say what's going to get it. I don't think there's a weapon that wouldn't love a Splat Bomb. I guess like something that's really, really ink hungry wouldn't be able to use it much. What's unique about the Mint Decavitator here? It looks like a pretty similar fire rate to the Stamper. It's actually really hard to tell what's different about the new Splatana. Maybe a longer dash? So maybe it's like an even slower version or a more melee-focused version. Yeah, that is a longer dash. I wonder what kind of range it's going to have. Because Stamper already has absurd range. It's already ludicrous in terms of range. Like, I don't feel like you want to give it more. Unless you're slowing it down or something. I'm looking for, like, which parts are ramps and which parts are drops. Okay, so it looks like there's a bunch of one-way drops, and then... Is there only one way back up? Like, you can see my mouse, right? Yeah. So, like, in here, is there a way up this way or up this way? Here? If not, and the only way up is here, that's really gross. This is super hard to get up. I guess maybe the idea is that, like, you can go from mid and then jump onto one of these or something. But that's even more restricted than Skipper Pavilion was. Skipper had a way that you could jump across the middle and land on the enemy side, and it was like really risky because the whole thing was unpaintable, but at least there was something. Here seems really disadvantageous. But there's a lot of... What's cool is that there's like a lot of high ground all the way up. So like, it feels like the defenders are going to have a bit of an advantage if they're able to get into this area before the attacking team does, as they come up. Because presumably you're going to have like Rainmaker goals up here or something. But also, if the attacking team is able to like get up here, that would give them advantage, and this would be a little bit of a no man's land. The whole match really is playing fast here. Like, you could probably see some things just from rewinding this frame by frame. Oh, so that part of the ramp moves. And it just moves up and down. Okay. Does it just, like, shove you if you are standing next to it, and then it like scoops you up or something? Something on purple team has tri-strikes. I wonder if we can see who's throwing them. So obviously new main weapons are exciting, and we'll have to mess with them and see what we can do with them. And we just kind of won't know what those are like until we get our hands on them. New map could be interesting. Skipper Pavilion was a really fun map in my opinion. And this looks, you know, pretty heavily inspired by that map design. Could lead to certain weapons and strategies being favored when in other circumstances they aren't. And that's, I think, always good for weapon variety and for giving people chances to play things they don't normally play. Obviously depends on a lot of other factors. There are definitely ways that they could butcher this stage, but I'm not seeing anything that I like super dislike right this second. I'm not a huge fan of cyclical elements to a stage, of like, well, I could cross here, except that the bridge that goes on a cycle just isn't here yet, and I'm going to have to wait 5 seconds for it to arrive, which isn't going to happen before I need to go across. Like, that sort of thing is always frustrating. I really don't like that about, say, Wahoo World. And so the fact that it's like got a bridge going back and forth, unlike Skipper, isn't my favorite. Hopefully it's at least predictable. Like, maybe it's like the Randall timer in Melee, where you can look at the time on the top of the screen and just know based on that where it's going to be with a relatively easy rule of thumb. So maybe that makes it more predictable, and you can take advantage of that a little better. But we'll just have to see. It looks like it's got a lot of verticality, which could be fun. Need some paintable walls somewhere to make that especially great, because otherwise it's going to feel really bad to be on the ground floor and to have so few options for where you can go. It's going to make it super dangerous. So it could get kind of stally. It could be really bad at certain choke points if the map has few enough shortcuts and alternate routes. Hard to say, though. This all is looking unpaintable. This all is unpaintable. So, like, I don't know. It's really hard to tell until we go and get a real first impression of it, but we'll see how it feels once we actually have it in the game. For now, I can't say too much. Overall, like, it's nice to have the new stuff. There was nothing that really like knocked my socks off. It was all pretty expected at this point, and I don't know how great that's going to be for keeping the hype going around the game, but I'm always going to be happy with new stuff, and some people are getting new kits finally. Custom range is immediately in contention if it is actually Splat Bomb Kraken. I think that we just like don't see the other kit anymore, if that's the case. That just seems better in a lot of ways. Wavebreaker's not super interesting right now, so that would be a really powerful weapon, because it's already seeing use even with a pretty mediocre special. Without the pretty mediocre special, that could be disgusting. It's a weapon that goes down a lot, and having a panic button to get it out of trouble would be huge. Obviously, if the Mint Decavitator is anything like the Splatana Stamper, then it's also a contender right now, because that weapon is insane and it's been run since the very beginning of the game without too many problems. So anything that's similar to it, probably also potentially pretty good, especially if it's got something more desirable as a special. So there's some stuff. There's some stuff there that will shake up competitive play a bit, I think. New heavy edits. I didn't see a special there that I thought would be like especially impactful, more so than like Tacticooler, because one of the big reasons you run Headit right now is to have Tacticooler on an anchor weapon. Rebrella is going to need a heck of a kit to start seeing use. Dowsers, they don't have an awful lot right now in terms of a kit, so anything solid would be a pretty big step up, though I didn't see specials that I was like, oh, that would be insane on Dowsers. So let me know what I missed. I'm going to go and dive deep into Twitter now, so maybe there's some things that I don't mention here that Twitter will inform me of. But that's what I'm seeing on my first look through here.